Good evening and welcome back to the ILR1 PS4 Brazilian Grand Prix round 20, the penultimate round of the season. We've had some major technical issues with Andy's PS4, so apologies for missing the last part of qualifying, but I was observing while this was going on. We had our failing transmission, the satellite not quite picking up Interlagos. But we have a Ferrari 1-2 and Neo in third place, Jum in fourth, Josh in fifth, Poe in sixth, Lewis in seventh, Leon eighth, then two VSR drivers on row 5. And Blizzard, the main headline is that he has decided to start from the back of the grid to challenge himself and look for his 11th win of the season from the back of the grid. So it should be very exciting. Gran and Liquor Blocks and Neo, neither of the top three have won a race this season, so we shall see what they can do in these slightly unusual circumstances. Intermediate conditions to start the race as we get the 5 red lights to get underway here for 36 laps of Interlagos. Lights out and away we go. The Ferrari's got a decent run off. Watch out for the McLaren just behind, and Jum in the Sauber, who traditionally this season has struggled in these conditions. The two Ferraris go side by side through the center S's. Gran maintaining the lead of the race from Liquor Blocks, and they're going so close. Everyone getting through safely. Let's have a look at Liquor Blocks. Can he get into the slipstream of the Ferrari head? Gran has struggled in these mixed conditions in recent times, and Liquor Blocks will dive down the inside, and oh, behind there's been a big crash. Bugatti is off and taken frisky with him by the looks of it. And Liquor Blocks maintains the lead for the time being. Gran dropping a little bit further back. Neo, Jum and Lewis up to 5th already from row 4. So good start from Lewis. Josh in 6th, Poe in 7th for the time being. Lambo and Leon battling for the final championship points of the season. Frisky has decided to call it a day immediately. We saw his McLaren spun around from the exit of the center S's. This is one of my favourite camera shots on the track. You can see the whole field snaking through sector 2. And well, this is dreamland for Liquor Blocks. Oh, a big snap of oversteer as I say that though, as we head out to Juncal for the first time. And Neo getting really close to the Ferrari. So the Ferraris are 1 and 2 for the time being, but they are certainly under a little bit of pressure from Neo. Seems to be setting. Oh, I say that Neo has lost massive control of the car and goes off the track. Neo falling further and further down out of the points. A huge moment when it looks so promising for him, and that's going to ease the pressure for Ferrari a little bit. So bit of calamity for some of the drivers on the opening lap, and not ideal for McLaren, but of course they are constructors champions by a country mile for the time being. So for the time being, you're to, oh, and there's been a crash behind. Oh, Josh and Lewis out of the race. Goodness me, what has happened there? Look at that carnage, and another car out on there. There's been so many retirements. Is this a restart that we're about to get? I'm not sure, but a huge crash on what would be the second DRS straight. So that's Poe, Lewis, Josh, and Jum is out of the race as well. What on earth is going on here? They're not handling these mixed conditions at all, and well, as you would expect from this game, no safety car. But we've had 7 retirements and we haven't even finished the second lap of the race. And look at the names that are out there. Multiple race winners this season from Lewis and Jum. So it's a big opportunity for a big result for some of these drivers. I'm not sure if Andy is still here, but if he is, 7 retirements in 2 laps. What do you make of that? And he hasn't returned yet from changing the stream there, but the two Ferraris streaking away from Matt Tebos, who's in P3. Up to P3. Astonishing stuff here at Interlagos. No DRS activates on the 3rd lap as you would normally get, because it is wet conditions here. But Josh, you know, one of the stars of the Mexico Grand Prix, 0-0 stuff out of the race early on. And June, once again, those wet conditions proving to be absolute kryptonite for him. Out yet again. Just wants dry racing all year long by the looks of it. Really needs to get better at these wet races, because you know it's half the battle being good and dry and in the wet, of course. So Matt Tebos running in 3rd at the moment, staying ahead of CSR Leon and Lambo, 2 drivers who have been on the podium in this particular league this season. The gap between the top 2 stabilizing at around 1.3 seconds. But you know, Liquor Blocks, given that the likes, some of the race winners this season are out already, but you know, Blizzard, I mean, that's 7 cars taking care of him, and he's up to P12 already. So, well, apart from the retirements, it's obvious who the winners and losers are so far in this race. But Cliffy has gained 12 positions from the back of the grid. So a typically fast start for Cliffy, but I don't think even Cliffy expected to see 7 cars retiring from the race immediately. So let's have a quick look. Is there any movement from Leon? Is Leon going to try and make a move? Let's go behind to Lambo's. Lambo's getting very close to Leon behind actually, and CC Brain trying to defend. Side by side, Lambo and Leon go through the centre S's. Slight contact between the two, but it's hard but fair racing. Around the outside, CC Brain gets overtaken by Francis. A slight contact. CC Brain gets a horrible exit, and that may allow Cliffy to pick up another position as they're heading into the end of sector 1. Here comes Cliffy around the outside. Can he get the move done on CC Brain? No, CC Brain forces him off. Hard stuff there. Look at all the wreckage on the track, and Hamilton now trying to challenge Cliffy for another position. Probably wants to back off this particular corner here. Oh no, in fact Cliffy goes deep, and that allows Hamilton to go from on the outside. Can Hamilton? Yeah, he'll have the inside for the following corner. Oh, there's slight wheel bang to they're going to go 3 wide, and look at that. It's me says thank you very much and takes both of them into this corner. Pretty messy stuff here in the midfield. Cliffy was gunning for 7th, and now he's trying to battle his way back past It's Me, and he does. So It's Me was up to 8 for a few seconds, and now it looks like Cliffy. Yeah, Cliffy's got damage, I think. So Cliffy, not ideal condition here, and while this is all going on, Blizzard is getting very close to the back of It's Me, so we'll carry on with him for a few more moments. And yeah, Cliffy in the pits, wing damage for Cliffy, bad times for him to his bid for winning this race, heavily compromised. As down the inside goes the new ILR1 champion who sealed the championship several races ago now, and he's in the points already, and we're only lap 5 of this particular race. So I want to once again apologise for the technical difficulties we had getting this race together. Unfortunately, some problems for Andy's PS4 meant spat out the disc for him, and we were in a slightly hurried position to get the race started. We did just in time, the end of the formation lap, to get you the start at least. So Blizzard up to P9, so let's go further up to the front. Matt Tebos in P3, which as it stands would be his best result of the season. His best result so far was a 5th place at Russia, so if he could, even if he could finish in 4th, that would be outstanding. So the 2 Haas drivers in 3rd and 4th, so all Ferrari power in the top 4, with Leon in 5th, Francis in 6th, CC Brain in 7th, Hamilton in 8th, Blizzard in 9th, and It's Me in P10. So of course you're used to my voice being the co-commentator, but thanks to Andy's problems I have drafted in. Hopefully we'll get to see some great action even with this much reduced field after the open lap. So Matt Tebos being overtaken by VSR Lambo for P3. So can Lambo take the fight to the 2 Ferraris? It's a 2-second gap now between the Ferraris, and Gran doesn't look particularly quick in these conditions once again, and this is a golden opportunity for Liquor Blocks. You know, we've seen him throw away some results this season, but this is a chance for him to win an ILR1 race, surely. 2.5 seconds gap at the moment between those two, and we'll head back to It's Me, who's getting very close to Blizzard. Yeah, trying to retake the place from Blizzard. Now, I don't actually know the weather conditions. There was no indication in the chat what they may be. All I knew is that it was going to be a wet start, so whether this condition will stay with us for the 36 laps, it remains to be seen. One of the shorter laps on the calendar, of course. So even in the wet, this race will go fairly quickly. So we go, that It's Me trying to get back ahead of Blizzard in the battle for P9. In terms of, there are some other battles brewing. So Cliffy, despite the fact he had to make a pit stop for a wing, has still gained 9 places in this race. So that just shows you the utter madness we saw early on, as Liquor Block sets the fastest lap of the race so far, 1:18.816. Let's have a look at Leon, who's getting very close to Matt Tebos into turn 1. Let's see what kind of exit Matt Tebos gets up ahead. Through the centre S as they go. Now can Leon get a little bit closer into the toe? Matt taking a wider line to try and get the maximum traction out of the corner, and does a good job there. And now the top 3 are beginning to close in. Well, these 3 yellow in sector 3. And Hamilton has left the session. Not sure what's happened to Hamilton. Must have had a spin somewhere, so Hamilton has called it a day. So even Kalik in 13 could still get points the way this is going. So let's go straight back to Leon, who's now chasing down Matt Tebos in the battle for P4. Let's get the telemetry on. Let's have a look at their battery levels. Brazil, one of the easier tracks. One of the easier tracks to get your battery back. So I don't expect any of the drivers will have problems with battery unless they're really having to defend too much. But without the use of DRS, the toe is less powerful. So it is much harder to get an overtake done in these sort of conditions. Have to rely on a mistake of the driver ahead really to give you a chance. Leon a little bit close to Matt Sebos. He'll be looking to, you know, just fill the mirrors of Matt Sebos, force him into a mistake in these corners, but Matt Sebos gets a good line out of turn 1 and turn 2 through the center S's, and then getting on the power onto this straight. Very important as Francis pulls into the pits. So what is going on for Francis? Was that a wing change or maybe switching to a different tyre? I would suspect a wing change, quite an early stop for the Inter tyres. So we'll go back to Leon, who actually didn't get, he's actually lost ground to Tebos, so Tebos did a really good job in that particular sector. Bit of sunshine creeping onto the track, so maybe we'll get some dry running later on, but look as what's happening there. The gap between the two Ferraris has really increased, but the gap between the Ferraris and Haas has massively decreased, because Lambo now 1.3 seconds behind Gran, who may have to accept to play a bit of a rear gunner role to protect Lickle for the time being. Because this would be an outstanding result for Ferrari if they could get a 1-2 out of this. So in terms of close battles, closest on-track battles, you would feel it's going to be Lambo versus Gurnan, and then Matt Sebos and Leon. And Blizzard overtook It's Me, but to his credit, the sole remaining Force India driver is keeping tabs with the new champion, as to say. But the big story here is Lickelblocks leading this race. You know, he started on P2 and Blizzard pits. So it's an early pit stop for Blizzard. Oh, look, has Blizzard got damage? Let's have a look. That would explain Blizzard's apparent lack of pace after, yeah, wing damage for the new champion. So that will really curtail his efforts, and because of the laps Blizzard has done with that damaged wing, Cliffy's actually managed to easily undercut him and get back ahead of him, because he had to replace his wing early on in the race. Let's have a look at Gurnan then, because Gurnan really been caught by the Haas driver here. And wow, Kalik has been lapped already on lap 9, so Kalik having a nightmare race in the Sauber. I don't know if Kalik has disconnected, but you know, sometimes you get these days like this in racing where you get so many retirements like this, and it's a chance for drivers who don't typically finish high up in the points to get a mega bonanza. And you know, at this stage of the season, this is exactly the kind of situation you want when you've not really had these sort of results. And Matt Tebos pits as well. Oh, look! Oh, it looks like Matt Tebos has picked up damage somewhere early on. So he did a pretty decent job to stay ahead of Leon. So there's so much going on, and it's another wing change. Pit crews have been very busy so far in this Brazilian Grand Prix in ILR1, and it looks like
what have I missed?
Wow, what have you missed, Andy? Well, that's understatement of the season, I would say. I mean, you may be able to look back into the stream, but there was absolute carnage in the opening laps. We've had, you know, we've had 7 actual retirements, and Hamilton's disconnected as well. So we've had nearly half the field eliminated, and we're not even half distance in this race. So it's incredible, really. But the big story is the 2 Ferraris on the front row, and you know, what do you make of Lickelblocks leading this race by 3 seconds at the moment?
Sorry, we're breaking up there. I think it's because I tried to play the stream on my phone, so I'm not going to do it. I am virtually blind. Can't go on the game because it'll just spit it back out. I can't go out using invites. So there's not really much I can say, Mark, other than, well, chaos, carnage from what I've seen. And, yeah, crazy race. And a chance for a surprise winner, I suppose.
Yes, well, you know, Lickelblocks, he's been under the bubble, hasn't he, in terms of podium positions in the second half of the season. And you know, he came particularly close in Japan. You know, we thought he got it done at turn 1, then Cliffy did that brilliant move in the S-Bends to win that race. But now all of his rivals are nowhere to be seen. You know, Blizzard had to pit for a wing change, Cliffy did as well. And this is surely, Andy, about as good an opportunity as he's going to get to win a race this season.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. Everyone in the top 4, remember the top 4 drivers and actually win a race. So what an opportunity!
Oh, Blizzard is out of the race. So Blizzard has decided to call it a day, clearly feeling that the gap is too much to regain after that wing change. So that is a big news, because that, Andy, is only his second retirement from 20 races this season.
Yeah, well, it wasn't going to plan. I mean, he joins the long list of retirements. LMC Hamilton and Callick aren't really anyone near the back of the train, so in theory we've only really got 10 runners on the track together, don't we? 2 of them out there lapping uncompetitively, and 12th and 13th haven't even passed the lap of Blizzard car. So yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a big opportunity for those guys to get a first win of the season, but I can imagine a few people, the stewards are going to be very busy, and I don't think they're going to be too happy with how it's panned out so far.
Well, Andy, as you say, you're blind at the moment. Your monitor's down, so if you feel like putting your feet up before your next stream later on, then feel free and just watch the stream and throw some comments in there. I don't mind at all taking the rest of this on, seeing as you can't even get into the game at the moment.
Yeah, I suppose. Take it on, Mark, and if I've got anything to say, I'll pop in.
All right then. Well, thank you for your input, Andy, and hopefully things will go a bit more to plan for us next week. But it should be hopefully some entertaining action for the rest of this race.
Yep, should be entertaining. I'm going to have to take my PlayStation out and try and repair it to stop it from doing that. Cliffy knows what to do. He's told me before, and I've done it before, but unfortunately it's reared its head again. So yep, we won't have that issue next week, so long as I fix it. But yeah, Mark, I'm sorry to drop you in it this week, but I'm sure you'll manage just fine.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be fine. If there's many more retirements, I think it will be a bit of a test session. But yeah, I'll see you next week, and thank you. Right then, so back to the race. It's been a pretty unusual race here in ILR1 so far. I think you will agree with me. You'll see a lot of greyed out names there if you've just joined. Those the 30 who are watching at the moment. I mean, goodness me, those opening laps we had crash after crash. You know, I'm like just going to call it as it is. But Hamilton not running either, so effectively we have 11 runners in this race at the moment. Those who haven't pitted yet have done 12 laps on these inter tyres. But as you can see, the rain is easing off, so I believe we're going to get some dry running at some stage in this race. Perhaps within the next 10 laps we will be pitting for dry tyres, and from here the mediums would go to the end. But will anyone maybe gamble on the soft compound to the end of the race? That is an interesting question. We're about to find out. So in terms of the qualifying session, it was a Ferrari lockout with Gran taking pole position. We unfortunately missed that due to the stream dropping, with Liquid Blocks in second, and Liquid Blocks in the intermediate conditions made the better of it on the opening lap, overtaking Gran, now has a 3-second advantage to his teammate. And then the rest of the top 10 is Lambo, Leon, CC Brain, It's Me, Lawmans, Francis, and Matt Tebos, who early on was running as high as P3, but unfortunately had some wing damage, but still on for some points. And Cliffy had a topsy-turvy race from the back of the grid, had wing damage himself. He's currently in the points and trying to chase down Matt Tebos, but he's done a lot more laps on those inters, but that won't matter too much because the rain has stopped here at Interlagos. So we're about to get some dry running here. Tends to dry out fairly quickly here at Interlagos from what I've seen from league races I've done, and you know, the spray almost non-existent already, so I think we'll be pitting very soon. And this is really pretty much the only decision Liquid Blocks needs to get right at this point. He's faster than going on these intermediate tyres, but dry running could be different, and he's got to get the timing of his pit stop right. DRS will be enabled by race control soon enough, so just going to have a quick look at the chat. I see the likes of Jess, Big C, Onyx, Y Cuba, and Suit Cooler. And to answer your question, Suit Cooler, it was a bit of a massacre in the opening laps. Multiple race winners this season out of the race immediately, both McLarens, both Red Bulls. I mean, these are very unusual times in ILR. I mean, imagine if there was a championship on the line with this sort of shenanigan. And DRS enabled, so this really compromises Gurnan, because Liquid Block surely is going to peel into the pits, and Gurnan, well, he's probably going to have no choice but to double stack to get his tyres. Oh, Gurnan losing massive control. Oh, goodness me, I thought he was going to take out Lambo, but he thankfully redirected the car. Did he get he got a bit of, oh no, well that's any chance of a Ferrari 1-2. It's gone. And what is happening to Liquid Blocks is Ferrari Oh, I don't know what happened there. A bit of lag there. It looked like they were trying to service both cars at the time, but Gran saving it to a degree. So Lambo coming in, and well, any chance of a Ferrari 1-2 I think it's gone, because I'm not sure Gran was able to make the change to his wing. Perhaps he was, but he definitely got a bit of end plate damage. Oh, and a spin from CC Brain in the pit lane. He's damaged his wing. Cold tyres. Oh, that is embarrassing. And well, Alain Prost looks on from the Renault garage, and he would not have been impressed by what the Silverstone race winner this season just did there. And well, he's probably thankful there's so many retirements. He'll still have a chance of points. Francis is still out there on intermediates, and has already been caught by Lickle Blocks, who's gone on to the mediums, and I think everyone will be going on to mediums, although it's me, CC Brain and Lawman's on the soft, so interesting from them. Francis attempting something different, but Francis is going to be massively compromised as Lawman's moves up to 7th. So Lickle Blocks just has to bide his time, really. Doesn't have to take any risks with Francis, as Francis will be pitting. Not entirely sure why Francis stayed out, but it looks like the mediums are still struggling to get up to temperature a little bit. So Francis will carry on. Francis carries on. Wow, this is unusual. Very unusual. Perhaps there's more rain to come.
He's doing well, isn't he? And I've got it now on my phone live, and you know, I would agree with you up to a point, but all of a sudden maybe they just can't get the temperature in the medium tyres, and Francis seems to be coping fine, doesn't he, Mark?
Yes, well, Andy has borrowed a phone from the crowd to get a look at the race. So he is back here with me, and well, we're both impressed by Francis' apparent still pace on these inters. He's actually still going faster. CC Brain retires from the race, so that's yet another retirement. I'm not sure there's been more retirements in a race this season. This is extraordinary. I think if you include the fact that Hamilton's disconnected, that is officially half the field out of the race, and we're not even quite at half distance. We will be at the end of the next lap, but this is absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I mean, I don't know what to say. It's incredible. I've looked back at the accidents earlier on in the race, and it was a demolition derby. It was chaos, wasn't it? So hopefully we don't have too many more, or we might as well pack up and go home, Mark. Well, I've already done that. You're not far away from doing it either.
No. It's kind of entertaining in a sort of morbid way, and Francis still stays out, but it looks like to me the inters are starting to go off. But I wonder, the only reason I can see he's staying out is because this dry period is not going to last very long. I mean that's the only reason for me that he would be doing this. I mean, he's really struggling now because Lickle has taken about a second out of him in the past 2 sectors. But you know, Lickle's got to be careful because Lambo is really on the pace. Looks the quickest on the mediums at the moment. But let's go on board with Lickle Blocks getting so close now to the back of the Williams. He's got to be careful. If he trips up over this Williams now, then any chance of a victory is gone. Lambo is there to pounce on him. And down the inside goes Lickle. He's going to risk it. Down the inside. They're going to go side by side through the middle of sector 2. Oh, they're so close. It's very fair from both drivers. And Lickle had to get that move done, and Lambo will dive down the inside as well and gets very close to the back of Lickle Block. So the battle for the lead really hotting up here. Both of these drivers, everyone in the top 4 hasn't won a race this season, but Francis obviously compromised by being on the wrong tyre, so he's not a factor. And Lickle Block's getting all out of shape. Lambo, he's going for it. They're going to go side by side as they head out on the majestic gladiator-like stands there. They rise to their feet, and Lambo will take the lead. Lickle Blocks will try and come back at him round the outside into the opening corners, but doesn't quite have the traction to do it. So Lambo takes the lead. It's only the 4th different leader in this race as Francis finally peels off into the pits. Crazy thing is, he's still on for some decent points. So Lickle Blocks trying to chase down Leon in 3rd at the moment. It's a very different podium we could be seeing here. Leon's had 3 previous podiums this season in Austria, Singapore and Japan, so particularly in the second half of the season he's had a strong run of form. And Lambo, well, Lambo's had plenty of podiums himself. Back-to-back podiums at the start of the season, then a podium at Monaco and a podium at the USA, but he has not been on top step, and neither is Lickle Blocks. So Lickle Blocks has such a decent advantage in the first stint, really made a quite a strong pace in the dry seemingly so far. So 6th position for Lawmans at the moment. Francis has actually come out in 7th. Now I think we may see some logic in what he was doing. He was trying to stretch out the inters a little bit longer so he could go on the softs and have the best tyres at the end of the race. So keep an eye out on Francis' progress, and Lambo is leaving Liquid Blocks high and dry so far in this seemingly final stint for these two. Now meanwhile down the order, Cliffy getting very close to the back of Matt Tebos. So let's have a look here. They got our Junk out for these two for the 19th time. Kalik in P10. It's a lap down, but still on for a point, so who knows, could get a safety car. Cliffy on the softs, closing in on Matt Tebos, has much better tyres. Will he go for a move down the inside? Yes! He's going to Daniel Ricciardo it down the inside at the centre S's, and it's a fairly comfortable move. Can Matt come back at him? No, he gets all out of shape out of the centre S's. Down to P9 then, Matt Tebos. The gap between the top two, 1.1 seconds for the time being. This is your closest battle on track though, the battle for P8, but you feel Cliffy with those superior tyres, at least for the time being, will be able to gallop away from the Haas behind him. But if Cliffy had not had that wing damage, who knows where he would have been. May have well have been right at the front for the win. But as it stands, none of the top 7 have won a race this season, so we at the moment are guaranteed a new winner. I think the only way realistically that could change is if we get a late safety car, and there's plenty of laps to go, and if people keep crashing, who knows folks, we may get another one. Still plenty of people watching as ever. We really appreciate the audience. I mean, given them the number of cars, there may not be as much action as you get in one of these ILR1 races normally. Well, the fastest lap of the race, I will certainly be happy to ask that question for you. Fastest lap of the race is a 1:11.789, just set by the Mercedes driver of VR type, Cliffy. Now we'll keep the tyre into up, so the gap between 1st and 8th is 22.9 seconds. So that's a lot of gap for Cliffy to get back. There hasn't been too many penalties so far from what I've seen. Just as I say that, Matt Tebos picks up a 3-second time penalty, but he's got just a lap over Kalik, so probably no threat for P9 at the moment, but that's the best he's going to get at the moment. So Liquid Blocks trying to regain his composure, just over a second just outside DRS, trying to put the battery on. As I mentioned earlier, battery quite easy to recover here, so you'll see a lot of high power usage used here. So here we go, Liquid Blocks, takes Gran. Oh, Leon picks up a 3-second time penalty. Now that could be important, because it's me not far behind him in P4, and again, you know, we mentioned earlier, number of retirements, it's a huge opportunity for big results for those who don't typically, and it's me, this would be by far his best result of the season. Finishes there, but he's got to make those softs last, because they will degrade as time goes on, but he's got a decent advantage to go in P5 at the moment. So the battle for the top 2, just over a second, but Liquid Blocks has got to try and get back within DRS and then try and close the gap again. And well, some angry team radio being replayed from the Red Bull garage. Lewis venting his frustration at the incident that occurred to him on lap 1. Leon currently in P3, but with that 3-second time penalty, looks unlikely, and we're into the 1-minute 10s for the first time in this lap with Liquid Blocks 1:10.966. So the pace of this race really starting to decrease. It's me, and I think the likes of Cliffy, they'll be putting that time down. And to answer Kalik's question, Andy unfortunately had some communication problems, so we've had to re-switch out, and down the inside goes Francis up to P6 on the soft tyres, the freshest soft tyres of anybody on the track, but he's got quite a lot of time to make up to go and then to get into the top 5. But with penalties, may still have an outside chance at the podium. We shall see. But Lawman's still in a very decent P7. But his disc spat out. But look at this. Oh, and wait a minute. Francis just lost it right in front of us. And that's another retirement in this race. So Kalik up to P9. So that really finishes Claire Williams' day. One drive having a transmission failure, and then the other car wrecking it out of the end of sector 1. So Goodness me, yes, another one, and we have a safety car. Finally, the safety car's woken up. It took over half the field, and finally we have a safety car. Well, Charlie Whiting thought enough's enough. We got to calm ourselves down, and fresh tyres for all. And will it be super softs or softs? This is a really crucial moment. We're going to get a grandstand finish in what has been quite possibly the craziest race of the season. Soft tyres for Liquor Blocks. What is it for Lambo? It's super softs for Lambo. Softs for Liquor Blocks. So Lambo really gambling on the tyres, but if the safety car's out long enough, it may work for him. But has anyone opted to stay out? Going that in for tyres as well. Lawman as well. They're all coming in. And a drive-through penalty for Kalik, although that probably won't. Oh, that's a shame for Kalik. He would actually have half a chance. He was speeding under the safety car. May have even had a chance of getting more than 10th place, or 9th place in this case. He is, of course, still a lap down. So I guess it's irrelevant either way. But is that a typically tactical blunder from Ferrari for Liquor Blocks? In fact, both Ferraris on the super softs. Time will tell. But that, for me, is advantage Lambo, because he can really look after tyres. And well, goodness me, how close is the field here? How long will this safety car be out for? Probably only a handful of laps. So for any of you joining, you may be wondering, oh, we've had a lot of disconnects, but no, we've had a lot of crashes on the opening lap mainly. We had 7 retirements in the opening 2 laps, and then we've had more as the race has gone on. Blizzard retiring, and then CC Rain having an embarrassing moment out of the pit lane, damaging his wing, and then so disgusted was Alan Prost, he called him back into the pits to retire the car. And then we saw Francis is binning it out of the end of Sector 1. So your current top 9, there's only 9 running, is Lambo, Liquor Blocks, Leon, It's Me, Gernan, Lawmans, Cliffy, Matt Tebos and Kalik. Well, it would not surprise me at all if one of these cars just crashed into the safety car and retired at this point, such has been the attrition rate in this race, which, you know, I'm just going to look at the championship standings, which also contain the information on sort of retirements and stuff. Have we had more retirements this season? I don't think we have. In fact, we've had more retirements in this race than we had at Monaco. So extraordinary circumstances here in ILR1. So lap 24 then of this ILR1 Brazilian Grand Prix. It's been pretty makeshift. The commentary team split up from the start due to Andy's PS4 problems, and I just about got the stream going just before the end of the formation lap. So it's been a pretty unusual evening, I would say, so far. So the light's still on that safety car, but the end of Sector 2, just before Juncal, is where we will find out who comes in now. So Lambo will probably be hoping for an extra lap, because right now is kind of the operational limit of the super softs to be effective tyres. So he really ideally will want an extra lap. So Lambo, what he'll have to do is try and get a gap to Liquor Blocks, break that DRS. If he doesn't break the DRS, then it's going to be difficult for him to win the race, because those super softs will go off slightly in the race. And yep, we're going to get one more lap at least. The lights have not gone out on that safety car, so that's good news for Lambo. So, you know, tyre wear will not be an issue. It will be more the ultimate performance of the tyre. That will be the only concern for the super soft runners. So, you know, if they thrash them a bit too much, and a lot of weaving going on the straights, let's hope no one does a Grosjean and puts it into the barrier for a bit. That would be embarrassing to say the least. So, not sure if the safety car will actually allow Kalik to unlap himself. Hopefully not. Otherwise, that will cause an even further delay to the restart of this race. Well, I hope you've got your popcorn ready, folks. Fasten your seatbelts. We're going to get something quite dramatic to end what has been a truly dramatic race here at Interlagos. Not going to check penalties. I think I'm going to let the race do the talking. A suspenseful ending, that's what we want. There are a few drivers I know who do have penalties. Leon has 3 seconds for sure. Matt Tebos does as well. And Gunnanan, not sure if Gunnanan served the stop-go penalty during that safety car pit stop actually, because he did pick up one, because he nearly lost the car at the end of the intermediate stint, just about saved it without getting a DNF. Now, will the lights go off on the safety car just before Junkel? This will be an indication. It's a very short restart here, of course. It's one of the smallest sector frees on the calendar. And yes, here we go. Safety car in this lap then. This is the longest flat out section of the track. Nearly 1400 meters from Junkel all the way to turn 1. As Lambo backs the pack up. This is one of the more difficult safety car restarts because, you know, there's nowhere really to hide, and Lambo's going to have to gun it. And Lambo has gunned it very well indeed, and will that give Leon half a chance to pass Liquorbox? Liquorbox really left standing on that restart. The superior traction and super softs really aiding Lambo for that restart. So it's me trying to get past, and watch out for Gurnan behind. It's really tight there. Kalik will be effectively unlapping himself, so he won't really be a factor in terms of the battle for the points. Oh, and there's a car going off in the background, and I think that was Matt Tebos nearly getting swiped off the track by Kalik, and Kalik's actually unlapped one car at least, so we'll go straight back to Liquorblocks, who's now under threat from Leon on the Supersoft. It's me as well, so this could be a really topsy-turvy final few laps here. Liquorblocks, well, we'll find out soon enough if going on the softs was a complete tactical error or genius, but given Ferrari's knack for making strategic errors, it may be swinging towards the former at the moment, unfortunately. So according to someone in the chat, Lambo and Liquorblocks both on 2 warnings, so that's interesting as Kalik picks up a time penalty, although he's well over a minute and a lap behind, so I don't think that's going to really prove to be any factor. But here we go then, there could be a potential free wide situation coming up here. Lambo setting him in the fast lap race, well out DRS already. Sensational restart from Lambo as Leon tries to dive down the inside. Liquorblocks, well, Liquorblocks has gone from what looked like a dream victory into something very difficult indeed as Lambo scampers away down distance. Will those softs come back for good performance? But by the time they do, Lambo may have a comfortable gap, and all the while he's having to defend from the Toro Rosso of CSR Leon, who's also looking for his first win of the season. So Cliffy trying to make his way up the order. I'm surprised he didn't gamble on the Super Softs. He's in P6 at the moment. It looks like Lawman's had an incident somewhere, but he's in P8. Still be a good result for Lawman's, one of the ILR1 reserve drivers. So a bit of a train falling behind Lickle. Got 4 cars in shot there. Liquorblocks, Leon, it's me, Gurnan. It's me will be getting a bit of a nosebleed. So far up he is, and there's a high potential for a podium for him if he can get past these 2 cars. So here comes Leon getting closer and closer to the back of this Ferrari. What can Liquorblocks do in terms of defence? Leon sets the fastest lap of the race. Looks for a move down the inside, not quite close enough for the time being. It's me, obviously got a poor exit out of the final corner, and Kalik has ignored the driver penalty, so it's another retirement. Even with a free chance of points. Goodness me. Maybe that was a glitch, to be fair. That's our second disqualification of the race. So we have 8 runners from the 20 who started, because Hamilton's disconnected, just so you know. Leon can't get past. Good straight line speed from the Ferrari. Lap 28 then here at Interlagos. We're going into the closing stages here. Lambo looking good for the victory for the time being. Not sure how Kalik got disqualification for that, because I believe you do get 3 laps to serve the penalty, unless those 3 lapses went so quickly he got caught out. Strange. And Clippy's picked up a 3-second time penalty. Is there any chance he had of winning the race? Looks to have all but disappeared. So I believe we're guaranteed a new race winner in ILR1, and this is what Andy and myself wanted to see, and I think a lot of the news want to see. Liquorblocks trying to cover the inside. What traction's better as they go through the center S's? It's good braking from Liquorblocks, really good defending, tidy stuff from the Ferrari driver. Now he's got to do it all over again. Gets a good exit out of the center S's, and I think Leon's not going to be quite as close this time. It's going to have to probably wait another lap. You know, Littleblox knows that if Lambo were to pick up a penalty, he's still got a chance of winning this race. Littleblox has it in the second half of the season been really good at avoiding time penalties. McGurnan in the fight as well with Lambo. 2 second advantage then to Littleblox. Leon in third, it's me, Gurnan making up the top 5 and then making up the rest of the top 8, which is actually the only 8 left in the race, is Cliffy, Matt Tebos and Lawmans as Francis leaves the session. A nightmare day for the Williams team, and well, not the only one really. We had a full grid for tonight's race, and well, it's been the Constructors Champions in particular, what a disaster it's been for them. Littleblox covering the inside, he's left a slight gap though. Oh, late move there, left a slight gap open. Leon sniffed half a chance. I think that was just about fair, but I don't think he'll get away with doing that many more times. As we see, believe it or not, the whole of the top 7 in one shot. Normans has had an awful restart to this race, but still on for some points. It's incredible, some of these drivers have made 2 pit stops with a wing damage and they're still going to be in a top 5 finish. So many retirements. The champion from last season, this season's champion, both Red Bulls, both McLarens, both Renaults, including the British Grand Prix winner CC Brain, including the Bahrain Grand Prix race winner Joom. The sometimes deadly weather Interlagos has certainly claimed a few victims, most of the retirements on those intermediate tyres, as you can see from the left hand side, and yellow in sector 3. What's gone on there? Is that Lawman struggling? Well, in any event, here comes Leon, looks to have a bit more speed this time. Can he sweep round the outside of Littleblox as we enter the closing laps of this race? They're still going to go side by side. Oh, this could end in disaster given how this race is gone. We're not surprised we see a few more cars into the wall. Side by side, heading towards the end of sector 1. Leon temporarily into second, trying to fight it, but look at that once again. Littleblox having the inside crucially. This is a great battle for P2 here. Despite the lack of cars, there's no lack of action here. Leon having another look down the inside. It's me just biding his time, probably secretly hoping these two take each other out. As we get a nice camera shot from the Force India, these 4 cars battling for P2. It looks like, unless Lambo makes a real mistake or really burns out his tyres, looks like the victory may be in the bag. They go out Junkau for the 31st time out of 36. Leon not quite so close this time. So I think he may be looking for a different sort of strategy. Oh, rapidly overspeed he got in the second half of the straight was and goes deep, goes really deep, and that is time lost for Leon and 2 places as Gurnan picks up a 3-second time penalty. So it's me up to 3rd position with Gurnan just behind him. Is that a sign the Supersofts are starting to fade away? But surely, oh dear, and Gurnan picks up a 5-second penalty. A legal overtake maybe. Oh, well, that could be removed afterwards, but that'll be up to the stewards to decide. But you know, Leon was off the track. Interesting, maybe something for them to look at. But Gurnan's already picked up a lot of penalties in this race anyway, so I think a podium would probably be out of the question anyway. So it's me. We had a star showing from the One Force India at Mexico last week, and it's me could be on for his first podium of the season. His best showing was a 5th place way back in France. Hasn't scored anything in the last 4 races, but this is sensational stuff. Let's go straight back to Leon. He's trying to come back fast. Oh, could be 3 wide. Late defending from It's Me. Gurnan's going to try and go round the outside. Oh, there could be contact here, but great overtake from Gurnan there. Now Leon's going to try and get back past both of them. Closing laps here at Interlagos, and we could get a 3 wide situation here, but there's no room for Leon to go through. He's going to try and get past the Force India to regain one of the places he lost after making the mistake in the center S the previous lap. Side by side they go, heading up to turn 6, 7 and 8. Oh, big contact there, but no harm done. Look out for Cliffy. has Cliffy played himself back in contention for a podium? That would be incredible. Yet another star showing from the back of the grid, and remember he had to change his wing early on in the race in the interconditions. And oh, they bang wheels again. Watch out for Cliffy. Cliffy will eat them alive if they make any mistakes. So good at coming back from third down. Oh, contact between the two. Oh, it's all gone messy. Oh, goodness me. It's all gone Lionel there into Junkow, and that is surely sealed at least second place for Liquor Blocks. Not sure if Cliffy got any damage there, but they're going to go side by side. It looks like the Super Softs have really gone on that car. Matt Tebos, of all people, is trying to get past It's Me, and he does. This battle for the podium going all the way to the end. Leon, well, cutting a frustrated figure, screaming on the radio, Pierre Gasly style. That is how angry he is with what just happened. Taken out by the 14th driver. Matt Tebos going for a move down the inside of Cliffy, and I think that's an indication for me that Cliffy's got some sort of damage from that contact we saw at Junkow just now. And now It's Me trying to get back through. So Matt Tebos, given the penalty the gunman's got, he does have a few penalties himself, Matt Tebos. But the battle for the podium, Matt Tebos could be on for a podium, which would be his first of the season. So it could be a lot of firsts. It could be a historic race in ILR1 in many ways, given the number of times we've seen. 8 running then, just under 2.5 laps to go. The gap between Lambo and Liquor Box has actually just dropped under 2 seconds. So are the soft tyres beginning to come to the fore? But is it too little too late for Liquor Box as he attempts to win his first ILR1 race? So Matt Tebos scampers away from Cliffy. So yeah, Cliffy definitely has got some sort of damage. I think on the right side, missing an end plate there, you can see clearly. It's Me in P6, Leon in P2. He's just been overtaken by... Oh, is Hamilton back in the race? It's like... can't tell if his car's ghosting or not, to be honest. Yeah, it looks like Hamilton's back in the race. So he was able to reconnect in the end then. So he's still on for points. That's not bad for him. At least a little consolation prize. He was running pretty high earlier on. So let's have a look at the winners and losers in terms of the... Early on, 15 places gained for Cliffy. Those are conservative figures for Cliffy normally, given his penchant for coming from the back and getting on the podium and winning races as we've seen this season. And now it's 1.4 seconds. Well, let's have a look at Liquor Box. I think it's too little too late though. He's not going to be able to challenge Lambo, at least in the DRS zone. As we start the final lap then here at Interlagos, I think Lambo has called this spot on, but he's still got to get it right. Those Super Softs are all the time going to get worse and worse. Could even come down to a penalty, but he's gone through the section where the most danger of a penalty. Although, look at this. They're both running out of fuel. Is Lambo going to run out of fuel before the end of the lap? Will Liquor Blocks run out of fuel before the end of the lap? You can feel the tension. We're guaranteed to have a Ferrari-powered car winning this race by the looks of it. Liquor Box getting closer. Can he get into DRS range just before the end of the lap? If he can, we could get a photo finish like we had at Baku earlier in the season. Oh, it's getting mighty close. We're getting to the end of Sector 2. The DRS activation point is just before the end of Sector 2, I believe. Just within it. They're going to head for the line. We'll go right on board Liquor Box. He's got the win in his sights, but I think Lambo is going to just about do it. And I think Lambo is going to win the Brazilian Grand Prix in IR1. An extraordinary race here. His first win of the season. Liquor Box denied yet again. And will Matt Tebos get onto the podium with all those penalties? Yes, he will. Matt Tebos. It's a Haas 1-3 here at Interlagos. Unbelievable stuff from the American team. As Cliffy finishes P4 by just under 0.4 of a second. It's not going to take long for the finishes here, but we'll ride on more Lambo. He's waited a long time for this, but he has won the ILR1 Brazilian Grand Prix. What a sensational victory, and he got the strategy call spot on for that final stint. And it is glory for Haas today, their best result of the season, surely. And that could raise a significant amount of places in the constructors as well. Given Sauber's problems today, that will put them above Sauber in the constructors championship. That puts them into the top 5 in the constructors championship. So that's really good for the Haas team. And in terms of Lambo's championship position, doesn't really change it at all actually. Closes a little bit to Liquor Blocks, but solidifies his top 4 position in the championship. As well, there's apparently now after race rain there. And I think I deserve all those XP points given what I've seen. So Gran finishing P7 in the end for all those penalties. Might get one of them removed. Not sure about that illegal overtake late on. Driver of the day, well, I would personally give it to Matt Tebos. First podium of the season, so great stuff from Matt Tebos. So here's your final result then. Lambo taking the victory here, his first of the season. Liquor Blocks in second, denied yet again, but surely that first win is not far away. Matt Tebos in third, Cliffy in fourth from the back. Leon in fifth, It's Me in sixth, Credible from 17th. Gran in seventh, pole position again, letting a victory slip through his fingers. He'll pray for a dry race after a pole position quali. Lawman's in 8th, and Hamilton I believe did finish, although 2 laps down. I believe he was in control of the car. So we had 9 finishes, and look at all those retirements. So many retirements in this race, and 2 disqualifications, although not sure how Neo and Kalik got disqualified. Kalik I believe was trying to serve a drive through. So not going to have any interviews today because it's going to be a very strange race we've had here today. But big congratulations for the Haas team in particular. Well, we have 1 race to go then in this ILR1 season. I'm pretty sure Abu Dhabi won't be quite as mad as Brazil was. Certainly won't be any rain. But we hope you can join us next week for the final round of the ILR1 season in what should be an entertaining league race at the Yas Marina circuit. Thanks for watching, and see you next time on the Inside Line.